Good morning, guys. This last week was the first week of school for us all. How was it? Are you guys going to school or are you doing your schoolwork from home on a computer or a tablet? I hope your first days were great, no matter how you're doing your school. Conan and Asher are doing their school from home on the computer and an iPad, but I have to go out to Roosevelt and teach there, so our house is getting a little bit of both. I am a little nervous about being at the school. I'm a little afraid of getting sick, but it was still a lot of fun to talk with the kids and do some small lessons with them. Anyway, I don't know how this school year is going to go. No one really does. But I'm betting that we'll all have a lot of fun and hopefully not too many bad times. Let's do our opening together. Repeat after me if you'd like, or just do the hand symbols with me. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are the Church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. Together we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our world. Let's begin. Today, I'm going to tell you guys a story. This story is about two friends named Musa and Naguib and how they can teach us about forgiveness. It's not a very long story, but it's interesting and has a great message. So make sure and pay attention. All right? Once, two friends named Musa and Naguib made a journey through the mountains of Persia riding on camels. After a while of riding, they came to a place near a stream and some trees that gave them shade. They sat down and started talking to each other, but after a little bit, they started arguing. Naguib got angry and, for the first time ever, he slapped Musa across the face. Musa was stunned. He felt angry. He wanted to slap Naguib back. But then he thought, I cannot be too mad at my friend, because I could have done the same thing. We are a lot alike, and I care about him, and I don't want to fight with him anymore. So he walked over to the trees instead and picked up a stick. With the stick, he wrote in the sand, Today my best friend slapped me. Then he and his friend stood in silence and watched as the desert wind blew the words in the sand away. Once the words had completely disappeared, Naguib said that he was sorry. The friends got back on their camels and rode to their destination in a distant city. A few days later, on their way back home, they stopped at the same stream to rest. This time, the two friends decided to take a swim. However, it had rained in the last few days, and the rains had made the current stronger and the stream much deeper. Musa, the friend who had been slapped, stepped into the water and slipped on a rock. He was dragged under by the current and began to drown. Naguib jumped in without a second thought and pulled his friend to safety. The two friends again sat in silence for a while until Musa had recovered. Then he got up and went to his saddlebag and pulled out a big knife. This time he went to a rock near the river and carved the words, Today my best friend saved me, into it. Again the two friends sat in silence. Finally Naguib spoke. My friend, after I hurt you, you wrote the words in sand. Now, after I saved you, you wrote the words in stone. Why? Musa replied, When someone hurts us, we should write it down in the sand where the winds of forgiveness can erase it away. This way, our hearts are free from bitterness, and we can renew our friendships. But when someone does something kind for us, we must engrave it in stone and in our hearts so that we will never forget. Thank you, my friend, said Naguib. I am very grateful for our friendship. I don't want to ever hurt you again. The two friends hugged and continued on their journey together. Has someone ever done something to you that really made you angry? I know the answer is yes. It's something that's happened to all of us. And I know that a lot of the time we want to just stay angry and do something back to them that will make them upset because of what they did. But does that ever make the situation better? Nah, it doesn't. I know with Conan and Asher, if Asher ever hits Conan, even if it's an accident, Conan will get angry and hit him back. which then makes Asher angry and he hits Conan back. They keep hitting each other back and forth until me or their mom stop them, and they both get in trouble, and they're both upset and angry at each other. Everything got worse for everyone. But let's say that Asher hit Conan, and instead of getting angry and hitting him back, Conan calmed down and forgave Asher, like how Musa forgave Naguib for slapping him. Wouldn't that make everyone happier? I mean, what if Musa had slapped Naguib back instead? I bet it would have turned into punching instead of slapping, and both of them would have been hurt, bruised, and mad at each other for a long time. So it's not really worth it. And what about when something does something kind for us? In this story, Musa carves it into a rock as a way to carve it into his heart, and it's best for us to do the same. Not carve it into a rock necessarily, unless you have an adult help you, but keep it forever in your heart. When we always remember the bad things that people have done to us, it's like poison. It makes our hearts and our minds sick and causes us a lot of unnecessary pain. There's a famous saying, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Do you know what that means? It means that staying angry at someone only hurts you, and it doesn't do anything to the other person, so why would you want to do it? On the other hand, when someone does something nice and kind for us, we should always remember that. Remembering kindness actually makes our hearts and our brains feel better. It makes us happier, and it lets us enjoy better relationships with the people around us. That's why, as the story taught us, we should let the things that make us angry disappear from our minds. And the things that make us happy, just let them stay around forever in your heart. It will help us lead happier, better lives, and it will make the people around us feel better. I hope you enjoyed the lesson today. I liked that story. What did you guys think? Anyway, that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you have a fun time at school next week. Be sure to be kind and respectful to your teachers and the other students and get all of your schoolwork done. It will help you grow your brains and become some of the smartest kids of all time. I'll talk to you guys again next week. Later.